ready.
They say they need to ban the podcast equipment and take y'all mics away. And oftentimes when I listen, shit, I agree.
For real talk.
Hey, man, just because we know people don't mean that they know things. A lot of us was in the same classes with some of these folks. That don't mean they were passing these classes.
All the time.
It ain't the world leaving you behind, man. It's your line of thinking. You think the science stopped evolving because you stopped learning, and it don't work that way. I couldn't imagine voting for somebody who thinks identifying with me is identifying with a felon. That's crazy as hell. I'm Mr. Spann, and I'm approving these messages. This is the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Spann, and this is episode number 77 of the show. And, yo, man, check this out. 2 shows in 1 week, nigga. Come on, man. Clap it up for your boy, man. Come on, man. Clap it up for your boy. You know what I'm saying? You know, we trying out here. We trying out here, bro. Not only that, I worked 3 hours of overtime today, too, man. So, like, are we still getting it in, right? Still getting it in. You know what I'm saying? You know, still getting it in, still got to work in and everything else. You know, I think it helps a little bit though, like the fact that it's the summertime and you know, it doesn't get dark until late. Like it just got fucking dark probably 30 minutes ago here in Detroit, right? So like you know, by the time I get home, man, I ate, I done showered, I done, you know, got stuff together and whatnot. But I said I was gonna be on here at 9:45. I didn't quite make you know, 9:45. So in that front, it was a bit of a boo-boo. But I mean, you know, we're not that late, man. I was about 15 minutes late. I mean, I had a lot of shit to do, you know what I'm saying? But most importantly, though, we here and we gonna talk some shit tonight, right? So before we get everything going, I gotta remind you guys how to get in touch with your man Spann here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. Let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit up that hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave those voicemail messages. Those messages will get played here live on the show and responded to in kind. You can also hit me up on let's see, Blue Sky. My name on that platform is mrspann.bsky.social. So for those of you who are on Blue Sky, go ahead, follow your mans, chop it up with me throughout the week over there. I'm mainly on Threads, though. So for those of you who are on Threads or Instagram, hit me up at Mr._Spann. Follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week over there as well, right? Also, if you're watching us via YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. We really do appreciate you guys doing that. Leave us comments on the YouTube channel. Go ahead and like those videos, man. Let people know that you like what we got going on over here and tell them why. Even if you don't like what we got going on over here, get in the comments and talk some shit if you want to. That don't mean I'm going to read that shit, right? The people who are talking nice, or better yet, the people who are going to contribute to the conversation constructively. Those are the people we're going to highlight in the listener feedback portions of the show, right? We don't want, like, you know, the arguments for argument's sake. We don't do devil's advocate over here because the devil doesn't need that and whatever else, right? But we do want constructive criticism or some constructive conversations over here. So if you're in the comment section over on YouTube, man, if you're out here just reckless and wilding, because, you know, the YouTube comment section tends to be a cesspool. But for those of you who want to contribute to the conversation, man, do so by hitting us up in the comments over there on YouTube, man. Also, like I said, like and subscribe, like the videos and subscribe to the channel, man. We really do appreciate you guys for doing that. Also, if you're, you know, checking us out via Spotify or iTunes, right? Go ahead, leave us a 5-star review. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get right here live on the show. Really appreciate you guys for doing that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network in its entirety. And also, go to our store, man. We do have a store. The link will be in the show notes. Go cop yourself some merch, man. Now, for those of you who want something tangible, right? Because we very seldom, you know, we don't really ask for a lot of donations here, man. We would appreciate donations, but we want you to get something back for your money, right? So we do have a store, man. We have coffee mugs, we got t-shirts, we got athletic shirts, because we ain't calling the white beaters no more. We grown, man. Shit, I'm unk now, right? Right? But no, man, we got a bunch of stuff over there, man. We even got hats, man.
Yo, We got some hats now, motherfuckers.
Yeah, man. So go ahead, cop yourself a hat, man. And we really appreciate you guys for doing that. It's one way to support the show, man. And you do give us money, but you get something back for your money. And so we really do appreciate you guys for supporting us in that way, man. Real talk. But yo, man. Yeah, last time I was on the mic, man, I talked to you guys for a little bit over 2 goddamn hours, man. In real talk, that's my fault, right? Because what ends up happening is this. I be wanting to get on the mic a lot earlier or a lot more often than I do. And I'll have a bunch of stories built up, and then I can't get to the mic. And so when I do get to the mic, it's like, oh shit, I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about this. And then I look up and now I got like 10, 11 fucking topics to talk to y'all about. And then the show goes on really long, right? So one of the things I was thinking about after I got off of the mic the other night was like, yo, man, like you don't have to keep, I know I've been aiming to try to get the show to not be that long. That's, to talk, the way that I talk, man, most of this is like just me. Right? It's just me talking. I don't really have a lot of guests on right now because we've been dealing with some technical issues when we do have guests. So until I can get that, that nailed down, I want to make sure that, the sound quality is good for you guys so you don't have to deal with that, right? But ultimately, I end up talking for 2 hours. And that shit, when you're talking by yourself, can get exhausting, right? So, hopefully, I can get this to a place where I can just 5 or 6 and boom, boom, boom. We have some fun. We laugh. We talk about some serious shit too. And then we get on up out of here and we go on about our day. And then boom, maybe you get 3 shows. Maybe you get 4 shows. Maybe you get 2 shows, but you're getting more consistent shows. And that's what I want for you guys over here at the Miss Spann Official Podcast, man. Real talk. So that being said, let's get into some of these topics that we got to talk about here tonight, man. So the first thing first, we're going to talk about Nelly's dumbass because he done stepped in it again, man. What is wrong with y'all's boy, man? What is wrong with this nigga, man? Why does he insist on being petulant about this shit, man? Take your fucking licking, man. You had to know this shit was coming, bruh. You had to know it was coming. It's something that just niggas just don't want to take their whoopings, man. They just don't. But yeah, man. So Nelly then stepped in it again, man. And the reason why we talked about Nelly a couple nights ago, man. So the last time we talked about Nelly, it was because he had went on, I believe it was Hot 97, and on Hot 97 they asked him about his quote unquote pro-Trump stance, and he took offense to the fact that they even that they would allude to it in that way. And it's like, wait a minute, nigga, you think we stupid? We've seen how you talk about Trump. We've seen how you backhandedly, kind of diss Democrats and some of the the policies that you may or may not agree with, or some of the statements that you may or may not agree with. We've seen how you do that in defense of Trump, right? Because you don't necessarily acknowledge the things that Trump has been accused of, or not even accused of, adjudicated of. You don't even really acknowledge that. You do the whataboutism thing, right? And so he doesn't understand why people, kind of feel like, oh, nigga, you fuck with that nigga. Don't give us that, respect for office bullshit, nigga. We know you fucks with him, right? So I think the backlash, or like I don't even want to call it backlash now. I really don't. I don't want to call it backlash because apparently his fucking reality show that he has with his wife Ashanti is doing actually pretty goddamn well. Nigga! It's doing pretty well. So I don't know how much backlash there is. I'm pretty sure Chrisette Michelle would like to grace that motherfuckers are showing Nelly and things of that nature. But one of the things I've always said is like, well, not me, but
think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
No, real talk. People have been able to show him and Snoop Dogg grace in ways that they never showed that woman when she went up to perform for Donald Trump. And I know that's got a grate on a lot of sisters when they see this dude out here with a new reality TV show being celebrated. We saw Aunt Viv going the fuck off when BET decided they were going to honor Snoop Dogg at the BET Awards fresh after that. His inaugural performance and everything else. But we're gonna read a little bit from this article. We get this from the Atlanta Black Star. And it says, when Nelly stepped onto the stage at Donald Trump's inaugural Liberty Ball, he likely expected to perform, collect his feet, and move on to the next show. Instead, the St. Louis rapper ignited a cultural wildfire that has consumed social media feeds and fractured friendships across Black America. Now, again, it wasn't as if this nigga wasn't warned, right? Like, he was told that, going to perform for this guy would be problematic and decided to do the shit anyway, right? He was on, was that Willie D's podcast talking about this before he went to go do the shit. So it wasn't as if he wasn't, he didn't know that this was going to be a problem in the community. People were letting him know. And I saw people talk about how, like, well, Chrisette Michelle's audience told her not to go and she did it anyway. I mean, shit, Nelly did the same thing. Since now, months later, the country grammar chart topper finds himself not just defending his decision to perform for the president, but launching unexpected attacks on former Vice President Kamala Harris and her multiracial family in a desperate attempt to justify his decision. The controversy began when it was announced in January that Nelly would take the stage at Trump's Liberty Ball, a decision that immediately sparked backlash from fans and critics who questioned why the rapper would align himself with an administration many view as hostile to Black Americans. During a June 27th appearance on Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning, alongside with his wife, Ashanti, to promote their new Peacock reality series, Nelly and Ashanti We Belong Together, the 50-year-old rapper found himself pressed about his politics. Now, we played this on episode 70, episode 76. I guess for the sake of the folk who may not have heard episode 76, we will play this again. I will go ahead and just pull this up for you guys so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Hold on a second while I do that. Let's see what he talking about. Let's hear him out, y'all. For the folks who didn't hear it, let's hear him.
Nelly, they've been had you under fire, man. We've been talking about your political stances out here.
Oh yeah.
You still on your pro Donald Trump stance?
See, this is what I'm saying. What did you get pro Donald?
I didn't
what did you get pro? What you had was respect for office.
Okay.
And it's great how people spin narratives to things that I think best fit whatever they're against.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of giving a brother the exact fundamental of what he did, what he said. Nobody's doing that anymore. Everybody's, if you did this, you're for him. And it's amazing how you could do something, but if you don't agree with everything that somebody does, which I plainly said that, I don't agree with everything my wife does. So to be in a situation to where, no, I have respect for the office. This person does some things good. This person does some things good. I never endorsed any president.
All right. Now, here's the thing. I don't think anybody was asking whether or not Nelly endorsed anybody, right? The point of the matter at hand was, listen, we've already seen like what a Donald Trump presidency could look like. We got that in 2016 through 2020. We saw how Donald Trump reacted to protest and we reacted to protests of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. We saw how he used the military for a photo op, used tear gas on peaceful protesters so that he can go across the street and take a picture with a Bible upside down to make it look as though he was forceful or in control of the situation, whatever the fuck, right? And even then, he was asking his military generals whether or not he could actually fire upon protesters. Even then. So it's not as if people are blind to who Donald Trump is and what he represents, right? We had already had inklings of that. Okay, so that's what Nelly said. Now, go ahead and pull this down though. All right, so okay, so this is like it's like a transcript of what we've already heard. I'm trying to get to a point where we're not hearing this. Okay, it says, and this is from the Shade Room. So, take it with a grain of salt. We don't really fuck with the Shade Room like that, but they are sourcing the Shade Room here at Atlanta Black Star. It says that Nelly steps into the Shade Room to address backlash after performing at the inaugural Liberty Ball. Me and Snoop do more for the community and have been doing so for over 20 plus years. And this is where, again, guys, they get in their feelings because, people are like, hey man, what you do for the community is cool. But this here is fucked up. And they're getting upset at the fact that, like, people are expressing the fact that they don't rock with this shit that he just did, right? So here's what happened. He went into the comment section of a Shade Room post because the Shade Room reposted the video we just played here, okay? So this is what Nelly wrote in the comment section of the Shade Room. He says, I'll put up whatever me and Snoop do more in the community and have been doing for over 20 years against any of you that are just on here talking trash and have no stats to back up what you mean to the community. From the black families that we employ to the black children that we help every day and all year through our nonprofits, whether we're sending kids to schools on scholarships to HBCU or helping young black boys in LA, Gang Central, with his junior football programs, which many players have went on to go on to the NFL and live their dreams. And on top of that, we are black men. We are black men married to beautiful black women with black children. Should be inspiring to most, but some of y'all have a problem with because the prosecutor who probably locked up more black men. Okay, so off top, man. Who probably locked up more black men than that we have helped. Woman of color with a white husband and white kids did not win the election. Again, I reiterate, I did not campaign for anyone. I do not tell people who to vote for. I respect and love our country from the top to the bottom, good and bad, and I am very aware that there's a lot of things in this. Now, keep in mind, Kamala Harris ain't saying shit to this nigga about none of this, right? Yeah, you getting backlash because you went to go perform for Donald Trump. Now, if you were saying that you're not endorsing anybody and you don't, you don't understand the backlash, why Kamala Harris out here catching strays then? Why would you come after her for marrying who she decided to marry and being in that family and those kids loving her like a second mom and calling her mama and things of that nature? Like, why is that a problem for you? Why are you trying to lean into some of the right-wing talking points of Kamala Harris? Like, I'm not one of those folks. I remember, what was that? I saw a post, I want to say earlier this morning. Let me see if I could find it, man. I saw a post on Threads. I want to say it was Reese Colbert. Because Reese Colbert, I love Reese Colbert, man. She be out here spitting. But I think Reese Colbert has something to say about him coming after Kamala. Y'all know Reese don't play about Kamala. So let me see if I can find that particular post, because Reese was going the fuck off. Let's see here. There we go. I see Reese. And yeah, here it is. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Let me take this down. And, all right. So let's do this. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can watch right along with me here. All right. There we go. Let me see if I can blow this up some.
Office, what you're not going to do is sit up. I know we have bigger fish to fry than Nelly's stupid ass opinion on anything, but where I draw the line is where now he's decided to disparage Kamala Harris, to deflect away from the fact that he decided to buck dance for the Grand Wizard in the Oval Office. What you're not going to do is sit up here and run Kamala Harris's coochie facts and talk about who she married like that has any relevance to the black community. Just like who you married 2.5 seconds ago in secret has no relevance to the black community either. The same with Snoop. You want to bring up Kamala Harris's record lying, saying that she was out there just locking up a whole bunch of black men. Actually, when Kamala Harris was district attorney, she created a re-entry program that actually kept black men out of jail for things that they were getting sentenced to 20 years for. When she was attorney general, the black male incarceration rate actually went down. Not up, down. You also skip past the fact that she's a motherfucking senator and a whole ass vice president of the United States. Talk about some old shit. Got your facts wrong. You want to talk about Kamala's record getting it wrong. Let's talk about Trump's record. Because be clear, the backlash to you has nothing to do with Kamala Harris. It has to do with Donald Trump, the motherfucker in the White House right now. You the one that want to, because it's always popular to dump on a black woman, bring her back in it, and think you don't find a friend of Jesus by slandering her. Let's talk about Donald Trump. This is who you supported. Mr. I ain't political, I ain't this, and I'm trying to keep it positive, but except for you weren't keeping it positive when it came to Kamala Harris. So let's get to it. He's the one, if you want to talk about criminal justice, who just got in here and got rid of the consent decrees that related to what we were all on the motherfucking streets marching for: Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, even Tyree Nichols, and George Floyd. He's the one that just did that. He's the one that's sitting up there pardoning, dropping charges for cops who done beat up black people. So you want to talk about criminal justice. So don't ever in your life think that because you married a black woman, that's some gift to the black community. Congratulations to you. I hope you have a happy wife, happy life. But if we're going to talk about impact on the black community, then we could talk about how Kamala Harris, when she was the vice president, elevated the issue of black maternal health, which your wife just had a baby, so she would know something about black maternal health, to the level to where now Medicaid covers in almost every single state 12 months of postpartum coverage as opposed to 6 weeks. 60% of black babies are born under Medicaid. When she was the vice president, she led the charge on eradicating lead pipes, on expanding broadband access, and a whole number of issues that I can go boom, boom, boom down the line on. So no, Nelly, your scholarships, Biden-Harris had record HBCU funding, and when she was a senator, she increased funding while Donald Trump was president. Your stuff that you're doing, which is great, you get a cookie for that. That does not equal to what Kamala Harris has done as vice president. If you want to have some smoke for somebody, have some smoke for the motherfucker that's in the White House right now. I can list off 50 things that you could call his ass out about. The only thing that you need to be saying right now is, I regret the harm that my performance caused, the perception that my performance was an endorsement. I do not support the actions of Donald Trump. That's the only thing you need to say, and then keep it cute, keep it mute. I know.
All right. So first things first.
God damn!
That. But also, Threads, man, I really need y'all to get like a proper video player, though. I wanted to pause that, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't pause it to like interject or anything. So I'm gonna need Threads to get like a real proper fucking video player so we can get some video controls and stuff like that. But also, the fucked up part about it is, like, Nelly thinks like it's one of those things where you're doing all this shit out in the front, and it's like,
Nigga, did you know that I can see you? Nigga, you right there. It's on your nose.
we all see it, bruh. We all see it. So I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. I don't understand why he continues to step in it, other than the fact that maybe, just maybe, that's where he want to be, right? And that's cool if that's where you want to be, but just know that a lot of black folk ain't gonna fuck with you if that's where you want to be. And that's where it is right now. So yeah, man, got that going on. Let me go ahead and pull that down. Reese was going to fuck off, man. She was mad as hell. I ain't mad at her. Real talk. Let's see. Let's get to something else. Oh, yeah, man. So, did y'all know that the WNBA is expanding? They're getting 3 new teams in this next few years. Nigga! Yeah, man. The WNBA, the league is growing, man. The game is becoming a little bit is becoming more popular. Let's see. I want to say Cleveland is getting a team, and Detroit is getting a team, and there's a third team. There's a third city that's getting a team. Shit. I'm drawing a blank. I don't know which one it is. God damn it. Yeah, man, let me see if I can pull this story up. But yeah, the WNBA, for one, let's congratulate the WNBA for their expansion. Yeah. All right, so the third team is Philadelphia. So there's going to be a new team in Detroit, there's going to be a new team in Philadelphia, and there's going to be a team in Cleveland, okay? Here's the thing, though. I wonder if the team that's coming to Detroit gets to take on the history of the Detroit Shock, because the Detroit Shock was actually like one of those dynasty type of teams earlier in the early aughts, man. Like I think the Shock won like 3 WNBA championships before they ultimately packed up and moved to Tulsa and became the Tulsa Shock, right? But yeah, man, they're talking about this here. I got a video here, so I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can watch right along with me here, of the WNBA announcing that they're not, they're about to, bring some more teams to the squad, to the scene, man. So let's see what they talking about here. I got a lot going on. Shit. I got a lot going on over here. All right, let's see exactly what they talking about. We get this here from ESPN. Hopefully ESPN don't trip on the YouTube and whatnot. But let's see what they talking about here. Check this out.
WNBA is expanding from our currently announced 15 teams to 18 teams over the next few years. So on behalf of the entire WNBA, I'm thrilled to welcome Cleveland and Detroit back, and to welcome Philadelphia officially to the WNBA. These are proud cities with powerful sports legacies, each one rich in basketball tradition and fueled by passionate fan bases, what we know they're going to show up for the W. Now they join the most elite women's sports league in the world. This is far more than an expansion of our league. It's an evolution of it. So this is a bold step forward as we grow our footprint, create more opportunities for players, and inspire the next generation of fans around the globe. And we couldn't be more excited to do it in 3 of the most iconic sports cities in the country. As Jess said, our viewership is at an all-time high, our arenas are buzzing, and our league continues to make an impact on sports and culture. With these new teams, our league will grow nearly every season for the rest of this decade. The Golden State Valkyries this year, the Toronto Tempo, and Portland in 2026.
Oh shit! I forgot they was getting a team in Toronto.
Detroit in 2029, and Philadelphia in 2030.
You say you can't hear the video? You can't hear the video? Okay, give me a second here.
It's a transformation.
Give me a second here.
In the future of women's sport.
Let me pause this because it was low to me too. I was actually trying to turn. Thank you. I was actually trying to turn it up, and that's what all the bloom 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 came from. But for whatever reason, the audio to that was very low. Let me see something here real quick. Let's see. Can I go back? Yeah, let's see if we can do this way. Give me just a second, J Fool. Let's share the screen again. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Let me know if you can hear it. Wait, shit. We got to turn low, like really low. Let me know if you can hear that.
To 18 teams over
if you can't, then we just gonna say fuck it.
So on behalf of the entire WNBA, I'm thrilled to welcome Cleveland and Detroit back, and to welcome Philadelphia officially to the WNBA.
Can you hear that at all?
These are proud cities with powerful sports legacies, each one rich in basketball tradition and fueled by passionate fan bases.
Yeah, it's still low. Okay. All right. So yeah, man, screw it. Basically what she's saying is they're bringing teams to Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia after already having expanded to Toronto, and they are I believe they have a Golden State affiliate. The Valkyries, the Golden State Valkyries have also come to the WNBA. So it speaks to, the growth of the league, the growth of the game. The women's game is growing, is becoming more popular. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Shout out to Angel Reese. Shout out to Paige Beckers and everybody else who's like really getting people excited about the game and more people really just, watching. He said it's better, but not much. Yeah, man. It like that particular audio for whatever reason, like is really low. I turned it all the way up. My computer's turned all the way up. That video was just really low. But yeah, man, they're bringing teams to, like I said, like back to Detroit. They're coming back to Cleveland. I know Cleveland was actually one of the original cities that the WNBA was founded with. Like there was the Cleveland Rockers, I want to say. So I wonder if the Cleveland Rockers, are they going to take on the history of that team, going forward? Is the Detroit team going to be the Detroit Shock again? And are they going to be able to, claim the fact that they are WNBA champions and have those banners up at the Little Caesars Arena and whatnot? Is that going to be a thing? The other thing that I kind of wonder about is, at some point, like, I know some NBA teams don't have a WNBA affiliate, right? I really wonder, and this is just me because I like jerseys and shit. Like, will we get to a point where like the women's jerseys don't have all that goddamn corporate sponsorship all over them, man? Because that's the one thing, man. They be doing the ladies dirty, man. I hate the fact that they jerseys got all that corporate sponsorship all over it, man. You looking at a Ring doorbell advertisement on they shit, or like Mayo Clinic and shit. Be like, man, I want to play ball. I want to think about basketball. I ain't thinking about getting sick, nigga. Like, what the fuck? But but a lot of that comes from the fact that they're looking for revenue, right? And so I understand why they have to do it. I just don't like the fact that they have to do that type of shit. I hate that the NBA does it and they don't have to do that shit. You know, we were talking about, the NBA finals. Well, I think I talked a little bit about the injuries and stuff, but when you talk about the NBA finals, man, one of the things that I think kind of takes away from the presentation is the fact that they are so enamored with, inundating us with corporate sponsorships and advertisements that it takes away from the presentation of the game, man. Like, I want to make it feel like I'm watching the motherfucking NBA finals. I don't want to watch the game and there's a plain ass NBA court out there. I mean, you doing all this special ass shit for the fucking the in season tournament with them god awful ass courts that y'all produce for the. If you could do that for the in season tournament, then damn it, you can do that for the NBA finals. And then on top of that, they move the NBA patch to the back of the jersey so they can put the corporate sponsorship on the front of it. I hate that shit. I hate that shit, man. And so it's just one of those things, man, like the corporate shit. I'm tired of advertisements, man. If that's the biggest thing. I am tired of advertisements. I will pay to not watch ads, bro. I swear to God, I will pay, man. Like, I hate, I'm about to go on a tangent here. But like when you listen to your favorite podcast, man, and then you for whatever reason, the podcast then stopped and you get 3 whole minutes of some fucking ads. Now I get it. There's a skip button. But y'all got to understand, your man Spann worked with his hands. I'm listening to a podcast while I'm at work. I can't keep pulling my fucking phone out to keep skipping 15 seconds. Man, fuck that. Leave me alone. I do not want to buy your goddamn aura. I do not want to buy some fucking your life insurance thingy or whatever. I already got life insurance. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm glad I got that off my chest. No, but seriously though, I'm happy for the ladies of the WNBA for them getting their expansion and whatnot. We got some comments here. Dave Sucky says ESPN title for post cup live stream. Lynx dominate Fever to win cup. Okay, I hear you. He says they changed it in the last 2 minutes. Okay, I don't know what this means though, bro. So you're gonna have to educate me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because I'm about to sound real. You're going to have to educate me on this. I don't even know what this means. What did they change in the last 2 minutes? Let me know. But also, real quick, the reason why we're bringing up the fact that the WNBA is expanding, not only because this is news in and of itself, but there's one WNBA player who doesn't seem to be all that happy at the idea, and is really kind of underwhelmed at the idea that there's going to be an expansion of the league, so to speak. And her name is Sophie Cunningham. As a matter of fact, Sophie Cunningham was like, she doesn't really know if anybody really cares about going to Detroit or Cleveland to watch a WNBA game. Yeah, man. So we get this here. Where did I get this story from? We got this from, so this is from CBS. Sophie Cunningham has an interesting reaction to the announced WNBA expansion in Detroit and Cleveland. So I'm guessing she cool with the Philadelphia expansion though, right? Because she didn't mention them. But let's see what they talking about on here. It says that Indiana Fever's Sophie Cunningham didn't hold back on her thoughts on the expansion, saying 2 of the cities might not have much appeal. Man, I don't know how excited people are going to be going to Detroit or Cleveland, she said. Fever's okay. See, this is why there's a reason why that Detroit versus everybody shirt is so popular within the city, but then also you started seeing versions of that pop up across the country. But that shit started in Detroit. There's a reason why people in Detroit feel that way. There's a lot of people who feel like it's Detroit versus everybody. Everybody is shitting on Detroit. Everybody's got something bad to say about Detroit. Many of these motherfuckers have never been to Detroit. And as someone who's from both Chicago and Detroit, I get it because Chicago gets it too, right? They get it too. So I get why people in the city be like, man, fuck y'all, man. We sick of this shit. We tired of y'all shitting on us, man. We got shit here. You don't have to. I mean, and oftentimes it's coming from people who have never been. It's coming from people who have never been here before, but they always have something to say. So let me pull this up because she's talking, and I want y'all to hear what she had to say. So let's do this here. Let me stop that. Let me pull this up so you guys can watch what she had to say. Here we go. Let's see what Sophie Cunningham is really talking about here.
aspect, but I also think that you want to listen to your players.
This shit sounds low too, man. Why they so low?
Get excited to play in competitions, and I do think that Miami would have been a great one. Like everyone loves.
Oh, she wants to go to Miami.
Amazing city, Kansas City, amazing opportunity. There's a huge arena downtown that no one's using.
Hold on a second. She said Miami would have been an amazing city, and I don't disagree with her on that. I really don't. Then she said Kansas City, bro. I got family in Kansas City. I ain't got nothing against Kansas City. Kansas City got great barbecue in Kansas City, and they got the Chiefs in Kansas City. I don't know anybody who's like really, really like, hey man, I really got to get to Kansas City. I really got to get to Kansas. Man, you know that's on my bucket list? Going to fucking Kansas City. Yeah, man, I got to get there, man. I got to go to fucking Kansas City. Right? I don't know anybody clamoring to go to Kansas City.
I think that the women's soccer league is showing that like people draw, you know, and so I'm not so sure what the thought process is there. But at the end of the day, you also want to make sure that you're not expanding our league too fast. I think that's also another.
Here's another thing too. I find this interesting too. And I just thought about this for a second. This is probably why she mentioned Kansas City. Kansas City is in Missouri. She went to college in Missouri. So there may be a little bit of homerism going on there that she isn't really necessarily revealing. But yeah, that might have something to do with that, right? So it says, let's see, they've had, hold on, we got some comments here. Dave Suki, they've had teams move and fail. Okay, so here's the deal though, right? I hear you. When the Shock were here though, the Shock were actually a pretty big fucking draw. I'm not exactly sure why the Shock moved from Detroit, but when the Shock were good, the Shock were a very big draw. As a matter of fact, I believe the Detroit Shock went to they won 3 WNBA championships. I believe the Detroit Shock actually have the women's basketball record for attendance at a WNBA game at over 22,000 fans. So, like, you know, I get that, you know, and this was back in the aughts. This is back before the WNBA was as popular as the WNBA is now, right? So the idea that, yeah, they had a team before and they lost a team, I mean, yeah, that was 20 years ago. Things changed, player. Things changed. Not only that, you know, they were playing in an arena 20 miles outside of the city. Detroit right now is one of the few, if not the only. I'm gonna go out on a limb here right now. Detroit is probably the only major metropolitan area that has all 4. And right now, if the WNBA comes to Detroit, when they come to Detroit, we'll have all 5 major sports leagues playing within a mile of each other in downtown, in the city center. The Lions play in Ford Field. The Tigers play in Comerica Park right across the street from that motherfucker. And then Little Caesars Arena has the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Pistons, and now whatever they're going to call this new WNBA Detroit team. Like, they're all going to be within a mile of each other, bruh. So, like, because of that, I think, you know, it being in the city center, and because of that area, because I'm familiar with that area, that is a entertainment district now. Like, yeah, man, I think they're going to be a good draw, especially with the growth of the league now. So, yeah, man, like, you know, just to say that, like, yeah, they had teams and they failed. Yeah, and the odds, the league wasn't doing good either, though. Let's keep that a buck. She went to school, and when she went to Missouri, bro, I already looked this up. She went to Missouri. Okay. We don't have to argue about this. There are no teams between Indy and Vegas. I mean, again, though, like, let's keep it a buck. While she's talking about, you know, whether or not people are going to be excited to come to Detroit or Cleveland, she plays in Indiana, bro. And no shot to Indiana. You know, I got, you know, some of my favorite people are from Indiana. One of my partners, my boy AG, he's from Naptown. My boy, shit. I'm drawing a blank. One of my guys from college, man. Shit. Dewan, my boy Dewan is from Indianapolis. I got a few casters from Fort Wayne, a few casters from Gary, right? My cousin lives in Gary, Indiana. But I say all that to say, hey man, I ain't never met nobody that went out and they went, hey man, you know, I just got to get my ass down to Indianapolis. Never heard it, ever. So like to shit on the teams, okay. And she also went Okay. All right, bro. I said we go. I see Dave is really on this shit, man. Shout out. Hey, no, real talk, man. Shout out to you though. Shout out to you. I think we just gonna disagree on this. Okay. I just think we gonna disagree on this, Dave, because like again, you could big up the towns you wanted to get a team. You don't have to shit on the towns that did get a team, especially like a city like Detroit, a city that is on the come up. Like I said, when they did have the WNBA here and they did have the Shock here, they won 3 WNBA championships. They set the record for attendance. And then on top of that shit, let's think about this not this past NFL draft, but the NFL draft that was here before that, where the Detroit drew almost 1 million visitors to the city for the draft. I'm sure, what was that? What was it before? Kansas City didn't do that. Green Bay damn sure didn't do that. Detroit set the record. So to act as though Detroit doesn't have any fucking bona fides as far as being able to support a WNBA team, kiss my ass. They will never. I know where it is, man. I've been there. It's okay, Dave. It's okay, bro. Oh, man. Hey, man. You know what? No, real talk. Shout out to you, Dave. I appreciate your contribution to the conversation, man. I really do. It's just funny. To me, this is just funny. Because like I'm seeing you typing and I'm talking about something else, and then you talking about something like a couple minutes later, and it's just a delay. It's a delay in the communication, brother. It's okay. It's okay. I think we're disagreeing about, I think the disagreement is about her leveling whether or not there should be teams in these cities, or whether or not the players will be excited to play there. Again, she plays in Indiana. If you're going to be talking about if you're going to talk about whether or not anyone has any excitement about going to a place, it's very hard for you to be like, saying that playing in Indiana. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. And as a Detroiter, right? I live in a Detroit suburb, but again, as a Detroiter, I've been here for a long time. I can claim Detroit if I want to. But as a Detroiter, yeah, man, we don't take kind of the people talking shit about the area, bro. We are sensitive about our shit here, man. We get shit on all the time. So we tired of that. That's all I'm saying. We tired of that, man. Real talk. So yeah, come to Detroit. See Detroit before you start talking shit about Detroit. And stop watching these fucking YouTube videos where people go to the ghettos and go, do their little ghetto tourism and all that other shit. The same thing they do in Chicago, right? Stop watching those videos. Come to the city. Come see the people. Come smell the people. Come smell the food and all that stuff, right? But don't shit on the city, man. The city done been through enough shit already. Real talk. Let's see. What else? Dave got something to say here. He says, I think it's shit that a league whose influence doubled when a girl from west of the Mississippi joins the league and you don't put one of the 5 teams in that region, you're shitting on a new fan base. I don't know if you're shitting on a new fan base, man. I don't know if those areas could facilitate a WNBA team. Just think about this for a second now. Just think about this. Oklahoma City Thunder, for instance, right? They just won the NBA championship. And you'd have been hard-pressed probably 20 years ago to convince anybody that Oklahoma City would be a viable NBA market, right? Still considered a pretty small market. But you would have been hard-pressed to find anybody who would, hey, man, we've got to get a team down in Oklahoma City, right? And so I think it's about the viability of the area and like the metropolitan areas as well. I mean, shit, Caitlin Clark went to Iowa. You think they're going to put a WNBA team in Des Moines? I don't think so. I think the biggest thing going in Iowa is going to probably be the Iowa Hawkeyes forever. Right? Right? That's just what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that to disparage the area at all. I'm just saying, like, as these corporate entities, as much as I hate all this corporate entity shit, I'm thinking like this is how they looking at it. Hey, I don't know if the team will be economically viable in Missouri or Iowa or Kansas or Wyoming. Like, these are states that really don't have a whole lot of people in them. This is why there's a reason why they was calling these places flyover states. Again, not a shot. Just because it's just the amount of people there to support. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, man. Like I said, Dave, I appreciate your contribution to the conversation. I really do. But we got to move on, man. We got to move on. Thank you so much for everything you had to say tonight, man. Thank you so much. He said only 17,000 to fill an arena. Now, I said we moving on. We moving on. So, yeah, but Sophie, come on. You got to, come on, baby. Can't be doing that. Can't be talking about us like that. That shit is not going to fly, man. Them people in them cities are not going to let that shit fly. Now, speaking of Detroit, though, I guess he's a former Detroit Piston now because Malik Beasley is a free agent, but they done caught this motherfucker up in a damn in a gambling scandal.
That'll be a monkey's bare-assed uncle.
Yeah, man. So yeah, he's about to get a bag and fucked up the bag because he was trying to get the bag the wrong way. Something like that. Let's see what they talking about, man. Let me go ahead and pull up my article here. We get this here. This also comes out of ESPN. It says that Beasley was subject of betting probe, had financial issues. So let's see. How does this sound? Because, you know, these ESPN videos have been very low audio-wise. Let me see if this plays right. Okay, that sounds decent. Let me see if I can pull this up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Hold on just a second here while I pull this video up. See what they're talking about on ESPN in regards to Malik Beasley. All right, here we go. Check this out, y'all.
Development from one of the NBA's top free agents right now. Sources tell me the U.S. District Attorney's Office is investigating Detroit Pistons guard Malik Beasley on allegations of gambling on NBA games and prop bets. I'm told it was during, allegedly, the 2023-2024 season. I have a quote from Beasley's attorney, Steve Haney. He said, an investigation is not a charge. Malik is afforded the same right of the presumption of innocence as anyone else under the U.S. Constitution. As of now, he has not been charged with anything. I am told, though, that Beasley and the Pistons were in serious talks on finalizing a 3-year, $42 million contract that would have brought Beasley back to Detroit. But now those talks are on pause. Talks around the league, likely on pause for Malik Beasley as well.
All right, so Malik Beasley.
So you have some breaking news for us right now?
Yeah, Malik Beasley, like, possibly losing out on $42 million contract, man, because of gambling. One of the things I think is very it's going to be real tricky for all of these professional sports leagues to navigate around this gambling shit. And the reason why I say that is because hey man, y'all keep throwing betting up in our face all the fucking time, bro. ESPN has its own betting app. FanDuel has an app. Shit, what's the other one? Damn it, I'm forgetting the name of it. It's so many of them. Right? BetMGM. Like so many of these sports books have apps and stuff now. And it's getting so bad, man. Like I remember when people used to get upset when people would go to the football games at the bar and they would be talking about their fantasy teams and whatnot. And the fantasy teams, in large part, are kind of harmless. You know what I'm saying? Then daily fantasy became a thing where people are like basically playing for money every fucking week on that shit. Whereas it's different when you're playing a fantasy league. Hey, you know, you guys pool up, put some money together. Whoever wins the championship gets this pool of money. No, now you playing every fucking week. You know, I got to pick some players every week. And it just, you know, became a thing where guys got more and more, you know, the betting just became easier. You know? It just became easier for you to lose your money. And I remember, I want to say it was last year, man. I saw, it might have been, I want to say it might have been on like Last Week Tonight. What's my man's name? Dave Oliver, something Oliver. I forget his name. I forget his first name right now. But they were talking about sports betting and stuff like that and how, you know, how prolific prop betting had become. Like everybody's doing these parlays and shit. And I remember last year, you know, I'm a Lions fan. So like my Lions were doing good last year, man. We had a really good season. Didn't show up in the playoffs like we should have, but we were injured. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that that's an excuse, but we were. Had a really good year. But me and my partners would go to go watch the game at the bar. And one of my partners, like, you know, he kept talking about his fucking parlays. And I'm just like, bruh, leave me the fuck alone about these parlays. I don't know if that's a good parlay, man. I don't know. Is he gonna make 15 yards? I don't fucking know. Is he gonna catch a ball over 30? Nigga, I don't know. Leave me alone, man. Just watch the fucking game. Hey, I'd have been much more tolerant. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd have been much more tolerant if he'd asked me, hey, should I sit this guy or should I play this guy this week? That's one question. Hey man, don't keep hitting me up about whether or not you think this guy gonna hit this parlay or not, because I don't know. Right? And then on top of that, you'd have people say that they hit on the parlay, but then the app changed the parameters of what the parlay was, so that the app wouldn't have to pay out the monies that they owed you. And I'm thinking to myself, like, seemed like the house won again, right? And so it's very interesting that they expect all of us to be able to, play these games and stuff like that, and not expect some of these players to get in on some of this action, right? Now, here's the other part about it, though. I'm wondering, like what kind of, how deep was his brother's financial trouble? Because he balled out. He balled out this past season, man. Like Malik Beasley, again, he played probably one of his best seasons of his career. This was a contract year for him. He was slated to make 42. They were talking about giving this man $42 million. Can you imagine being in financial struggles and you on the cusp of signing for $42 million, and then they find out like, hey, but you've been doing this other shit though, and it costs you the $42 million? Can you think of how many times you want to kick yourself in your own ass? Y'all remember when what was that movie, Liar Liar, and Jim Carrey was in the bathroom whooping his own ass? I think that's what Malik Beasley want to do right now. I think Malik Beasley wants to go home right now, and his mama and daddy is just like,
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
His bookie been trying to tell him,
delete all that shit. Delete all that shit. Let's play with you, piggy.
He betting on other players and shit, and just,
Oh, that was different.
it's just a thing, man. It was just a thing. And now, his agent is looking at him now, like after they didn't decide they're going to get rid of the $42 million contract, and they just looking at him like, man, just
Makes me sick, motherfucker, how far we done fell.
I know they tired of this motherfucker, man. Like, come on, bro. You done blew the bag trying to get a bag the wrong way, But yeah, man, Malik Beasley possibly fucked up $42 million, man. I'm trying to think, what's the bigger bag fuck up? Malik Beasley fucking up this $42 million, or that money that Dennis Schrader fucked up because he called himself betting on himself, and then he ended up not getting that money, man. Like, I forget how much money I forget exactly how much money that was, but yeah, man, you got that going on. Got that going on, man. Real talk. Let's see what else we got going on here, man. Let's see. Oh yeah, man. Let's talk about this. We gonna like I said, we gonna go. It's a little bit of mix of back and forth, some serious shit and some silly shit, but we got some stuff to talk about. And so we're gonna talk about let's see, University of Pennsylvania, man. So University of Pennsylvania has decided they are going to strip swimmer Lia Thomas of all of her records in a deal with the Trump administration.
That'll be a monkey's bare-assed uncle.
Yeah, man, we get this story here. This comes out of Axios.com. It says the trans swimmer Lia Thomas's records have been revoked in UPenn deal with the Trump administration. The University of Pennsylvania will retroactively strip transgender swimmer Lia Thomas of her records and titles as part of a deal with the Education Department to abide by bans on transgender athletes in women's sports. Thomas was the first transgender athlete to win a NCAA Division I title in 2022, but the Trump administration threatened to withhold $175 million in federal funds unless a school barred transgender athletes from women's sports. Now, here's the thing that I think is very interesting. I'm old enough to remember where, Republicans, I've said this 1,000 times on the show. I'm old enough to remember when Republicans told everybody that they wanted to get the government out of their lives. They wanted the government out of the way. They want, you had freedom of speech and all these other things, freedom of speech, freedom of expression and all these things. And yet they found a way to weaponize the government. And here's the other part about that. Like most of last year, when Trump was, under investigation and indicted and all these things, he accused the Joe Biden administration of weaponizing the government. But here it is. He's doing the exact same that he accused the Biden administration of doing. He's weaponizing the government against the people that he does not like. Right? How do you think about this for a second? I don't even think Lia Thomas is a student at the University of Pennsylvania anymore. I don't think they swim for the University of Pennsylvania anymore. And yet, in order for the school to get $175 million in funding from the federal government, they have to denounce Lia Thomas's ever existing as a swimmer for that school. Think about that for a second. Right? It says today is a great victory for women and girls, not only at the University of Pennsylvania, but all across our nation. Education Secretary Linda McMahon said in a statement. Linda McMahon, wife of Vince McMahon, who's currently under investigation, I believe, for sexual assault and everything else. Birds of a feather and all that other stuff. The department commends UPenn for rectifying its past harms against women and girls, and we will continue to fight relentlessly to restore Title IX's proper application and enforce it to the fullest extent of the law. Now, again, as I've said on this microphone plenty of times, they act as though men are clamoring to decide to become trans in order to dominate women's sports when that's something that's not happening. One of the things I think is very interesting, I saw this on a meme earlier today, as a matter of fact, but it's I forget exactly the exact verbiage, but it says something to the effect of conservatives like to create imaginary scenarios and then get mad about them and vote on those imaginary scenarios, something to that effect, right? And to a large degree, there's this, right? Because there's this alleged victimization of women, right? From the people who said that they don't like, portraying victimhood. Suddenly women can't be anything but victims over on the conservative side of the aisle. I think about people like, what's that chick from University of Kentucky, the one who came in 5th right along with Lia Thomas. I'm forgetting her name right now. It's not important. She's a loser too. But the reason why I think it's important that, we kind of, take heed and listen to some of these things is because, again, like I was talking about the other day, when it came to the way that the Trump administration is attacking immigration and enforcing the immigration laws, and not only that, but also how they are, taking up the effort to try to repeal the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, repeal that so that they can get rid of birthright citizenship, and what that can mean not only for those people who are immigrants, but also what that can mean for people who were brought here and are the descendants of people who were forcefully brought here, right? And so if you look at how oftentimes, man, it's usually some of these very small minority groups that they focus on, because people are looking at them like, they crazy. That's a mental illness and all these other things. And most of it is because people just don't want to take the time to educate themselves on the issue or whatever. Or not only that, they don't have empathy for these people for whatever the reason may be. But you think that the subjugation is going to stop there. It doesn't. It never just stops there. It keeps going. And then you looking at them coming at you and you like, oh shit, whatever am I to do? Right? So I just think it's interesting that in a day and time, we are seeing the rollback of freedoms. We are witnessing the rollback of freedoms across the board, from women having bodily autonomy, like we talked about, the woman Adriana Smith, who was forced to stay intubated so a fetus can grow, large enough to become a baby. And that baby was, they had to extract that baby at 1 pound, 13 ounces because they had, because of the abortion laws there, totally usurping the family's wishes for her. You think about, like this thing here with trans athletes And now the Justice Department, not the Justice Department, but the Department of Education leaning on schools, telling these schools that they're not going to get funding if they have an opening for transgender people to exist in their sports programs. Right? But it doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop here though. Because Lia Thomas isn't the only one. This is just happening this week in Iowa. Iowa civil rights protections no longer include gender identity in their constitution. So we get this story here. This comes out of ABC News. Let me see if is this one of those things that is just music and captions, or are they saying some shit? Music and captions. I'm going to read the story here. This comes out of ABC News. It says Iowa became the first state to remove gender identity from its civil rights code under a law that took effect Tuesday, meaning transgender and non-binary residents are no longer protected from discrimination in their job, housing, and other aspects of life. The law also explicitly defines female and male based on reproductive organs at birth and removes the ability for people to change the sex designation on their birth certificate. An unprecedented take-back of legal rights after nearly 2 decades in Iowa code leaves transgender, non-binary, and potentially even intersex Iowans more vulnerable than they were before. It's a governing doctrine now widely adopted by President Donald Trump and the Republican-led states, despite the mainstream medical view that sex and gender are better understood as a spectrum than as an either-or definition. Now, think about this for a second, man. We are living in a time where most people aren't very educated on a whole lot of things. And then on top of that, are very proud about the fact that they aren't educated on a whole lot of things. And when you tell them that they aren't educated on a whole lot of things, here's the thing. They think that their opinion is supposed to usurp concrete evidence, or not even concrete evidence. We don't want to say something as certain as that, but empirical evidence, right? Things that have been studied by people who are learned in the field. You think that you, layperson who ain't never looked none of this shit up, is supposed to have your opinion is supposed to sit with the same level of weight as a person who that's all they studied for the better part of the last 20 years, man. You gonna tell them because damn it, that's what you think, right? And it just made me think.
Think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
So, like they're rolling back rights left and right. Women don't have bodily autonomy. Trans people they're basically trying to legislate trans people from ever existing. They want to get rid of birthright citizenship. Right? They want to ship all these people who first they said they were coming after the criminals. Now they're not going after the criminals. They shipping a whole lot of people out. All right. So it's just, again, I want people to be I just want to, we gonna keep this drumbeat going. Like, hey, listen, these things are happening in your lifetime right now. And I think to some degree, it's like when it's like that slow boil, man. It's like that, the analogy of the slow boil, where if you put a frog in a boiling, in a pot of water, man, and you just, you slowly, raise the heat up on there. He doesn't realize that he's basically about to be boiled to death until it's too late. And I feel as though, people are walking around, they're seeing things happening. They're not really paying attention to it because it's not affecting them now, but eventually it's going to get around to you. And then when it gets around to you, you're going to want somebody to do something, but they were looking for you to do something before and you didn't do anything. Right? And I know, it's one of those, it's hard to it's hard to articulate exactly what to do. I'll be, far be it from me to tell people exactly what to do because I don't know exactly what to do. Otherwise, I'd be out here doing it. And I take pride in listening to people smarter than me, right? That there's the humility in that. Like, yo, man, I don't know everything. I mean, I try to stay learning on a bunch of shit, but hell, I'm learning every day. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people, after they got out of school, they stopped learning. And they think that whatever it was that they learned in school, that That's it. So this is why, you know, you had them same motherfuckers who were asking you, hey man, teach me how to use this phone. Because they ain't had those damn phones when they was in school. Hey man, teach me how to use this, you know, like things progress. Our knowledge of things progress. Our understanding of things grow and evolve over time. If you're growing and learning and evolving with the times. Far too many people are finding themselves stuck in what they know, and they're not open to learning about anything else. And unfortunately, their reluctance to learn anything about anything else ends up leaving a lot of people feeling marginalized, but not only just feeling marginalized, being marginalized by the government. That's actively happening right now. All right. Let's see. One last story, man. We're going to get the hell on up out of here. Oh, shit. No. I'm sorry. 2 more stories, then we're going to get the fuck up out of here. Apparently, we got some breaking news, man. Yeah. So apparently, they done got like some verdicts on Sean Diddy Combs' case or whatever. We are still on ABC News, so let's see what this is about. And this shit says it's live. Okay, I don't know how live I want it to be, but let's see what they talking about. Oh shit! I thought I should about to announce that this nigga was guilty.
From the other 4 counts. So that's why I think the hiccup is either in the enterprise part or whether there's a hiccup as to the other predicate acts and they've already reached a decision as to the racketeering conspiracy. Because remember yesterday, they started asking questions about the possession with intent to distribute. You cannot evaluate those predicate acts unless you read.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Oh, because she's just in the middle of explaining some shit. I want to just get to some factual information right now, not her like trying to get us through the intricacies of this case. I want some concrete information. So let me see. They don't have that. But apparently there's like they haven't come up with a verdict for the RICO charge, but they've come up with verdicts for all the other things, all the other charges that he was accused of. But they don't say whether or not, of course, whether or not he's been found guilty or not guilty on those. Just that there have been verdicts on the other 4, I believe it's 4 charges, just not the RICO charge. So I know a lot of people have been speculating about the RICO charges since those RICO charges were brought up. You see it all over social media, people talking about the RICO charges and whether or not they think he would be convicted of the RICO charges. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't fucking know, which is why y'all ain't see me speculating on that shit, because again, I don't know. And I don't think my opinion is going to sit next to somebody like her who actually knows what the fuck she talking about. Right? So I listen to people smarter than me. So I can then, therefore, maybe bring some of that information to you. Right? I am a conduit. Look at your boy Spann. It's just a conduit, man. I'm just a conduit, you know? But yeah, man, apparently in breaking news, they have come up with 4 verdicts in that case, but they are right now still deliberating on the RICO charge for Sean Diddy Combs in that case. So yeah, you got that going on, man. Now, the last story I believe we had going on. Oh shit! How the fuck did? Yeah, this is how I know. There's been a lot of shit going on. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. But yeah, man. So that big Uglass bill that Trump been out here promoting. They passed that shit in the fucking Senate, man. More like, God damn! Nah. More like, oh man, hey. Yeah, man. So let's see. We get this here. It says Senate mega bill marks biggest Medicaid cuts in fucking history. All right. right, we get this story here. This comes out of WGN News. This is out of Chicago. So let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can watch right on with your man Spann. Hold on a second while I pull this up. Boom. And boom. And boom.
That's President Trump's big, beautiful bill. Vice President J.D. Vance is the one who cast the tie-breaking vote. The bill includes a permanent extension to Trump's 2017 tax cuts, no taxes on tips, and $350 billion for border security. Senators debated and voted on amendments through the night. In the end, 3 Republican senators joined Democrats in voting against it. Senator Rand Paul said the bill, which is supposed to cut spending, will add $270 billion to the national debt next year. Senators Susan Collins and Tom Tillis said it cut too much from Medicaid. Some Senate Republicans are now celebrating the bill's passage as Democrats blast it.
This is a historic direction that we're moving for President Trump and the American people that elected us to run the government in a different direction than the Biden administration.
The American people will remember the Republican betrayal, and Americans will pay the price for this perfidy for generations.
The Congressional Budget Office said the bill would increase the deficit by more than $3 trillion over the next decade and cut Medicaid coverage for about 12 million Americans.
So, yeah. So think about this for a second. Like, again, I'm old enough to remember, Republicans talking about, hey, we got to be fiscally responsible. We don't want to be blowing up the debt. And yet when they get elected, they go out there and they spend, baby. They spend. They spend. They spend a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I think our military budget alone is damn near $1 trillion. Just for the military. Now, if you got all this money for fucking war, why we can't feed the poor, as my man Tupac said back in the day, right? Y'all want to cut Medicaid. Now, here's a part that I think is very interesting. Like, in order to sell this to people, they had people talking about Medicaid as if people get paid out money for Medicaid, right? They were out here selling it as though, hey, we got people out here who are getting Medicaid and they can get out there and they can go to work and we got to have work requirements for this. And we can't have people, 29-year-old people sitting at home playing video games, getting Medicaid. You mean the ability to go to the doctor? The ability to go to the fucking doctor, bruh. To get decent, some level of decent health care, right? Now, the other part that I think is interesting is that they want to cut this money from, Medicare. And we know that they want to cut the money for the Medicare so they can pay for these tax cuts that they're trying to give to the ultra wealthy. We know this. We know that they would the wealthy come out great in this shit. Your average person doesn't, but your average person voted for these motherfuckers, right? And now, that goes into the whole thing of, people talk about folks voting against their own interest. But you got to understand, whose interest and what interest are they really voting for, right? We get it that, some of these white rural voters who vote overwhelmingly for Donald Trump may be hurt by this sort of legislation. But when you think about it on a real, in a very real way, man, a lot of these people, they're not voting for their pocketbooks. They're not voting for their ability to go to the hospital. They're voting for it to keep your black ass and your brown ass and your Asian ass out of the hospital on what they consider their dime. It's weird, when you go in a Facebook comment section on a news article and it's just filled with people talking about, I'm tired of paying for these people. Like, ma'am, how much are you really paying? Do you even fucking know? Sir, how much are you paying? Do you really fucking know? Right? Everybody acts as though the money is coming directly out of their pocket. Right? But when you've been sold the idea that whiteness is the default in this nation, yeah, you will tear this motherfucker down before you would allow for it to be in the hands of someone else. And again, I've said this to you guys before. White people are scheduled to become a minority in this nation by the year 2045. They are pulling on every fucking lever to maintain power and control in this nation, because they'll die before they give it up to our black and brown asses. This is the backlash of 8 years of Obama, where they would go out and say, yeah, I voted for Obama twice. But then they would also say, well, Obama was nothing but a race hustler. I really thought he was going to bring the country together, but he didn't. And then they vote for Donald Trump, who does nothing but tear the fucking country apart. Right? So yeah, man. It passed the Senate. It has to go back to the House. The House has to, vote on this shit again before they put it on Donald Trump's desk. And if they do put it on Donald Trump's desk, that means it's law, and we have to deal with that. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how a lot of these rural voters deal with the ramifications of their vote. Real talk. A lot of people are going to suffer. A lot of people are going to suffer needlessly because of the stupidity and the sheer ignorance of a lot of the people in the voter in our electorate, right? But man, I've been talking long enough. It's an hour and 15 minutes. I didn't plan to go this long. I really didn't. But we had a lot of stuff, and we had some stuff come up, so we got that going on. And shout out to my man from before, man. What's my man name? Let me pull him up again. Dave, my man Dave, man. He says, "What you saying?" Wait, Dave was really upset about there not being hey, shout out. Dave is really upset about there not being a WNBA team in Kansas City. That's not to say that they won't ever do it, though, man. He says, well, you're saying my city can't support a team. I didn't say Kansas City can't support a team. I'm saying that nobody is breaking their neck to get to Kansas City in much the same way that Cunningham said. That's all. That's all I'm saying. It's all in good fun, man. It's all in good fun. But, man, we about to get on up out of here. But, of course, before we do, I got to remind you guys how to get in touch with your man Spann over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. Let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit up that hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Oh, shit. Excuse me. 0485. Leave me those voicemails. Of course, those voicemails we get right here and reply to here live on the show. And if you're watching us here live on YouTube and on Facebook, chop it up with me live, man. Call into the hotline, man. Chop it up with your man Spann. We can, go back and forth that way. Real talk. Also, hit me up on Blue Sky. My name on Blue Sky is Mr. Spann.bsky.social. Go ahead and follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. I am mostly on Threads and Instagram, though. Mostly Threads. But you can catch me on Threads at Mr._Spann. And on Instagram at Mr._Spann. So go there, chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Also, if you're watching this via YouTube, man, go ahead and like the videos, man. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And also comment on the videos, man. We really appreciate you guys for contributing in that way. And if you're contributing constructively to the conversation, man, we will highlight your comments and reply to you on when we do our feedback portion of the show, man. Real talk. Also, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and on Spotify. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We really do appreciate everybody who does that. Doesn't cost you a dime, man. Just a couple of minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network in its entirety. And also, go to our store, man. The store will, I have a link to the store in the show notes, man. Go to our store. Copy yourself some merch, man. Get yourself some fly shit. We got t-shirts. We got athletic shirts. We got, cups and coffee mugs and athletic, like water bottles and shit. We got mouse pads. We got, laptop covers. We got some stuff, man. And of course,
yo, we got some hats now, motherfuckers.
Yeah, we got some hats now too. So yeah, man, we really appreciate you guys for supporting us in that way, man. Real talk. But man, it's getting a little late. Your man Spann got to go to work tomorrow. Why does it do that, man? But yeah, man, I got to go to work tomorrow, man. But it was good talking to y'all tonight. This will be up in a few. But I will talk to you guys again soon. But until next time, fam. Peace.